So good morning, everyone. So yeah, can you hear my voice, right? Yeah, online students. So okay. So okay. Now in the previous class, yes. So in the previous class, we have seen how to work with. Yeah, these are the things what we have seen. Okay, I said how to work with how to read by using a flattening array. So flat is an attribute of an array object, and this attribute returns what? Iterator object, and it will return which iterator object? Flat iterator object. And flat iterator object read content of array by converting into which one? 1D array. It will read the content of the array by converting into 1D. So this is what we have seen. And after that I said ND enumerate. So ND enumerate is a predefined function in NumPy. And this function returns even which object? Iterator object. And this iterator object read index as well as what? Value. Okay. So this iterator object iterate index and values from array, and it returns. Yeah, it returns ND enumerate, but this ND enumerate object is what? Read only. Means using this, you are reading a data, but you cannot modify the data. So after that, I said about ND iterator. So ND iterator is a predefined function in NumPy, or it is a data type. Actually, it is a data type. And this function returns ND iterator object, and this iterator object allows to perform two operations. One is reading and one more is writing. Generally, iterators are used only for reading, but this iterator allows to read as well as what? Write. Yes. So ND iterator object provides the following features: reading and writing, controlling reading. It allows to read in different styles, and it allows to read data from multiple arrays. All these are done by using which object here? ND array object. Now this is np.nd array. So one is required. Which one is required here? Array object. And you can read the data in different order. That is nothing but row major order. And one more is what? Column major order. So here row major order is called as a C style, and column major order is called Fortran style. Now this is C is a language and Fortran is what? Language. So after that, I said some examples on this, like how to read in row major order and column major order. So by default, the data is read in which order? Row major order. If you want to read in column major order, you try to define the order as what? F. So after that I said reading. Okay, you can also read it. So you can also read it by using multiple arrays. You can also iterate it on multiple arrays. So before this, let me tell you how to read it. How to read from multiple array objects. Because what is the advantage of ND iterator? So the advantage of ND iterator is it allows to read from multiple. It allows to read data from what here? Multiple arrays. I said about reading and writing. I said about controlling reading. Let me tell you about reading data from multiple arrays. Reading data from multiple arrays. Let me tell you this, and then we'll talk about these functions. So reading data from multiple arrays using ND iterator object. Reading data from multiple arrays using ND iterator object. So whenever you want to read, you try to give multiple arrays. You'll try to give multiple arrays here. Okay. You try to give multiple arrays as input. Okay, right. So here, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to create an array. Here I'm creating an array. So A is one array. NP dot array. I create an array as 1D array with some 5 values. I try to create another array, but this array is also 1D array. This array also 1D array with 5 values. But using ND iterator, you not only read data from one array, it allows to read data from what? Multiple arrays. Then how can I read data from multiple arrays? Here I am creating one iterator object. So np dot nd iterator. So what is the name of the function? Nd iterator. Okay. Now nd iterator is the name of the function or data type. And here I try to define multiple arrays. I try to define multiple arrays by saying A comma B. So what I said here, A comma B. So what is the input is given? A comma B. Okay, now when you are giving multiple arrays, you cannot give multiple arrays directly. This multiple arrays, you have to put inside either list. This multiple arrays, you have to put either in what? Tuple. So, but you try to give this multiple arrays input directly. Okay, what it required is some iterable. Now I try to put this multiple arrays into one list. I try to put this multiple arrays into one list. Now this ND iterator object is created with a list of what here? Arrays. It is created with a list of arrays. Then how can you iterate it? You can iterate it using which loop? For loop. I'm trying to say for x in for x in iterator. For x in iterator, I try to read the elements. I try to read the elements from array A and array B. Now you can see it is read the elements from array A. Now you can see array of 1, array of 10, array of 2 here. It is written one tuple contain how many elements? 2 elements. Because you are trying to read the elements from how many arrays? 2 arrays. So it will read. It is just like a zip. I think you know zip in collections, right? What zip will do? So it will iterate values from multiple collections or not. Yes. For example, there is a list 1. If you take a list 1 contain 1, 2, 3. There is a list 1 contain 1, 2, 3. And there is a list 2 contain 10, 20 and 30. So I want to iterate the elements from list 1 as well as what? List 2. I want to read ith element from list 1 and ith element from what? List 2. Then you are using one function called what? Zip. Zip L1 comma L2. So what is a zip function is do? It will return which object? Iterator object. So what this function will return? Iterator object. And this iterator object read an element from list 1 and what? List 2. So whenever you iterate, it will iterate 1 comma. It will return the tuple with 1 comma 10. It will return the tuple with what? 2 comma 20. It will return the tuple with what? 3 comma 30. So what it is returning? Tuple. And what this tuple is having? A value from list 1. So that is nothing but ith value from list 1 and ith value from what? List 2. So here also, is it reading the elements from both the arrays or not? Yes. And it is returning that elements as one. It is returning that elements as one tuple. Now if you see here type of X, if I'm writing a type of X, I'll try to print in the same line. I said here type of X, and if you run this, all these are which type here? Tuple. And tuple contain the element from array A and element from what? Array B. But it is returning each element again as which type? Array type. It is returning each element again as which type? Array type. So that you can read as well as what? Write. So that you can read as well as what? Write. You can read as well as write. Now suppose it is written as a tuple. How can you read the content of the tuple? Again use one more for loop. How can you read the content of the tuple? You use another loop where I'm saying again m comma n. M comma n in what here? X. So what is the X is here? What is X? Tuple. What is X? Tuple. This tuple is having how many values? Two values. And two values are which type? Array type. This tuple is having two values of which type? Array type. And this tuple is assigned to how many variables? Two variables. Means it will assign first element to m and second element to what? N. But these both are again which type? Array type. I am writing m comma n. I said here m comma n. So where is that? So it is tuple, right? So m comma n. So what is x is? Sorry. So iterate over a 0D array. What is x? Tuple only, right? Oh, okay. Now x is a tuple. Now tuple is assigned directly, not for loop. I write m comma n equal to what? X. If I am writing m comma n equal to x, it will read first array and second array and assign to m comma what is that? N. M is an array and n is also what here? Array. So already x is a tuple. And why you are using for loop not required, right? You can directly say m comma what is that? N. Because x is a tuple. Now you can see 110, 220, 330, 440 and 550. So every time it is reading a tuple, which contain the element from first array and element from what here? Second array. It will create another tuple with the element from first array and element from what here? Second array. It will read again one more element where it contains the tuple with first element from first array and one element from what? Second array. So ith element from each array. So I is nothing but index. I is nothing but what here? Index. So what will happen if one array is having more elements? What will happen if one array is having more elements and one array is having less elements? When you run this, now it is given errors here. Operands could not be broadcasted together with shape of 5 comma what is it? 7. It means this array is having how many elements? 5 elements. And this array is having how many elements? 7 elements. So it cannot be broadcasted. There is no implicit broadcasting here. Broadcasting is nothing but changing. Changing which one? Shape. But is it shape is changed or not changed? Not changed. So whenever you are reading the elements from multiple arrays, you have to see that whenever you are reading elements from multiple arrays, you have to see that the size of this both the arrays must be what? Same. Size of this both arrays must be what? Same, right? Otherwise, you have to change the shape of the array. Now here, I'm taking same number of elements. So the array is having how many elements? 5 elements. Array B is having how many elements? 5 elements. Is it length of this both the arrays are same or different? Same. Now it is read the element from array 1. It is read the element from array 2. So ND array, ND array even used to read the elements from multiple arrays. Not only that, sorry, ND iterator is used to read the elements from multiple arrays. But whenever you are giving multiple arrays, you have to give that multiple arrays as one group. You have to give that multiple arrays as one list. Okay, right? And you have to see that the length of this both arrays must be, you have to see that the length of this both arrays must be same. Length of this both the arrays must be same. Okay, right? Yeah, you understood this reading data from multiple arrays. And this array can be 1D array. This array can be what here? 2D array. This array can be 1D array or this array can be what? 2D array. Now tell me, is it this is clearer? What do you say here, yes or no? So what is the advantage of ND iterator? So ND iterator allows to iterate. Iterate means it allows to read as well as write. It allows to read as well as write. And ND iterator allows to read in different order. That is nothing but row major order as well as column major order. ND iterator allows to read data from multiple arrays. Allows to read data from multiple arrays. Understood? Right? Then next one is, so there is a, you can also read it. You can also read it. Reading elements from NumPy array using condition or selection, which is nothing but filtering. And this is done by using two functions here. What is the first function is where, and what is the second function is extract. Two functions are there. One is a where and one more is a extract. One is where and second one is a extract. Okay. So first we'll see a predefined function called which one? Where. So this is very much useful. Now it is similar to where condition. It is similar to where condition when you are working with database. You'll be working with database, right? Now suppose this is a table contain rows and columns. Now if you want to retrieve the data based on the condition, you'll say select star from, you'll say select star from EMP where, select star from EMP where, I'll say salary, salary greater than what? 5,000. If I say select star from EMP where salary greater than 5,000, so what will happen? It will retrieve all the rows where employee's salary is greater than what? 5,000. It means this is one condition or not? Yes. It means you are retrieving the data. You are retrieving the data from, you are retrieving the data from, you are retrieving the data from where? Database table based on which one? Condition. But where function not only read data, it allows to update the data. Where condition not only allows to read the data, it allows to what? Update the data. Update the data means when you are working with the data science, you want to replace values based on the condition. You want to replace the values based on condition. Suppose you want to replace the missing values. You want to replace the missing values with the mean or median or what mode so that you can perform some statistical operations. You want to replace some negative values with some other values. You want to replace zeros with some other values. If you want to replace it even that replacing also done by using which one? Where. Getting on? So where is not only for reading. Where function is not only for reading, where function is used, it is where function is even it is also used for replacing the data or updating the data. And not only that, where function also used to read the data, to read the data by replacing the values. You can read the data by replacing what? Values. It means in when you are reading the data, you want to read data according to certain condition, by returning certain values. Even that can be done by using which one? Where. So let me tell you more about this where. But where is very important because it is used for which one? Filtering. It is not only for filtering. Filtering means you try to now suppose in Python you have a map filter is there, no? Map and one more is what? Filter. So what is the job of filter? So filtering data or not? Yes. So to filter, filter will filter the data based on what here? Based on what here? Condition. How you represent that condition? You represent that condition as one function or not? Yes. What is that function is? Lambda. If the lambda function returns true, that element is written. If that lambda function returns false, that element is not written. If the lambda function returns true, that element is written. If the lambda function returns false, that element is not written. But when it comes to the where, also do the same thing, but in different ways. It is also do the same thing, but in different ways. So where is a predefined function? Where is a predefined function? Where is a predefined function in NumPy? Where is a predefined function in NumPy? It is a function. It is not a method of ND array. It is not a method of what? ND array. What is the difference between a method and function? What is the difference between a method and function? A method is also a function. A method is also a function, but it is written inside a class. And that is bind with what name? Class name. That is bind with what name? Object name. A method is also a function. A method is also what? Function, but that function is bind with what? Class name. That function is bind with what? Object name. You are writing where is a predefined function in what? NumPy. So this function, so method is bind with the object because it is there, it is a member of a class. If it is a member, you always access with what name? Object name. If it is a member, always you access with what name? Class name. For example, you are saying, for example, you are creating a list. Suppose, assume that list is there 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40. I created list. I'm writing here a dot insert or a dot append. A dot append. Now append is what? Function or method? Method. Because it is bind with what here? Object. Bind with the object. Any function bind with the object is called method. It is a member of which type? List type. It is a member of list type. If I am writing a length of a, tell me length is a method or function? Function. It is an individual function. It is an individual function. So function is independent, but method is a member. Okay, it means whenever you are writing a class, you are writing a class A. Inside a class A, I am writing one function. If I am writing a function inside a class, if I am writing a function inside a class, now this F1 is called as a function or method? Method. Because it is a member of which class? A class. So is it F1 is called as a function or method? Method. So it is bind with what name? Class name. How you call this function with the class or object. Okay, because it is a member of what? A. Suppose if I am writing outside the class, if I am writing outside the class F2, now is it this is a function or method? Function. This is a function and this is what here? Method. So a function written inside a class is called which one? Method. And this is called with what name? Object name. And this can be called directly or not? Yes. This can be called directly. Okay. So what is a where is it where is a method or function? Function. Where is not a method? Where is what here? Function. When it is a function, will you call with the array object? Will you call with the array object? No. You don't call with the array object. So where is a predefined function in what? NumPy. And this function, okay, this function is used. Okay, this function is used to read data from which object? Array object based on which one? Condition, based on which one? Selection. This function is used to read data from array object based on condition or selection. Now, what is the syntax? What is the syntax of where? What is the syntax of where? What is the syntax of where is? Now you are writing np dot where, and it followed by which one? Array. Actually, it is followed by array. Array means I need to write where it followed by condition. Actually, where it followed by which one? Condition. Condition. Where it followed by condition. You are trying to define the condition here. Comma, there is an optional values you can write. One is a x and one more is what? Y. So what is this x and y? I'll discuss. Okay, but this is not compulsory and this is what? Optional, but this is very important. This is not compulsory, but this is optional, but this is very important. So first we'll talk about which one? Condition. First we'll talk about condition. So condition, so here condition, so generally you know it, condition is what here? Boolean expression. So which returns, okay, which returns what? True or false. So if condition is true, it returns the element, Okay, if condition is true, it returns elements, else doesn't return element, doesn't returns any element. So when it returns element, if the condition is what? True. If the condition is true, it returns element, else it doesn't return what? Element. If the condition is a true, then only it returns the element. If the condition is false, it doesn't returns what? Element. So what is the function you are using? Where. The name of the function is what here? Where it followed by condition. But how you represent this condition? Let me tell you about this. Now there is an array. Again, I am creating an array. np dot array. So this is an array contains some elements. Okay, this is an array contains some 10 elements are there. So I'm trying to print array. So print A. So it is read all the elements or not? Yes. Now here I'm writing np dot, what is the name of the function? Where. np dot where I'm writing A greater than, I'm writing A greater than what is that? 5. I just written condition like this, A greater than 5. So it is written the array with the elements. Okay, it is written the array with the elements. With the elements which satisfy the condition or not? Yes. It is written the elements which satisfy which one? Condition. But what it is written? Is it written elements or indexes? Indexes. By default, it doesn't return the elements. What it returns here? Indexes. So what is this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Not elements. This 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is not elements. What is this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 indexes? It written the index. Now, for example, a greater than 5, I said, okay, is it 1 is greater than 5? No. See the indexes. What is the index of this is 0, and this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is what here? 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, and this is what here? 9. So every time it will read the element and check the condition. Is it 1 is greater than 5? No. Condition is a true or false? False. Is it 2 is greater than 5? No. Is it 3 is greater than 5? No. Is it 4 is greater than 5? No. Is it 5 is greater than 5? No. But is it 6 is greater than 5? Yes. So what is the index of this element? 5. Then read the 7. Is it 7 is greater than 5? Yes. So what is the index of this element? 6. Is it 7? 8 is greater than 5? Yes. What is the index of this element? 7. Is it 9 is greater than 9 is greater than 5? Yes. What is the index of this element? 8. Is it 10 is greater than 5? Yes. What is the index of this element? 9. Correct or not? So it doesn't returns the elements. It doesn't returns the elements. What it returns? Indexes. So once you know the index, can you get the values? If you know the index, can you get the values or not? Yes. Suppose I am writing here index. What is index is? Array. What is index is? Array. So is it where returns the values are index? Index. It doesn't return values. It returns what? Index which satisfy that condition. It returns the index which satisfied that condition. Now I'm trying to say print. Print, what is that? Index. Print index. Now it is written index. But using this index, can I get the elements or not? Yes. B equal to A of, B equal to A of, what is that here? Index. B equal to A of index. Now, in NumPy array, can you read the elements by giving multiple indexes or not? Yes. So I said here B equal to A of index. But is it index contain one index or more than one index? More than one index. Now you can see the elements are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when the condition is satisfied, is it written the values or indexes? Indexes. It doesn't return the values, but it returns what? Indexes. I'm writing here index equal to np dot where. Np dot where I'm saying a mod 2 double equal to what? 0. Means I'm trying to get index of which elements? I'm trying to get the index of which elements? Even elements. I'm reading which numbers? Even numbers. I'm reading which numbers? Even numbers. But is it read even numbers or even numbers indexes? Even numbers indexes. See here 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But can I get the elements or not? Yes. By saying C equal to A of, C equal to A of, what is that here? Index. If I'm printing C, now C is an array contain which elements? Even elements. C is an array contain which elements? Even elements. In the same way, I'm writing index equal to np dot where. I'm saying a mod 2. What is that? Not equal to 0. So this will try to get the elements. Index of which elements? Odd elements. Odd elements. Then I'm writing d equal to a of d equal to a of index, and it will try to get which elements? Odd elements. It will try to get which elements? Odd elements. Now you are trying to read data based on which one? Condition. If the condition is a true, it returns what? Index. If the condition is a true, it returns what? Index. It returns element. It returns element index. Sorry. It returns element index. Else it doesn't returns what? Element index. Actually, this where returns the index. It doesn't return the elements. It returns what? Index. It returns the index as one array. It returns the index as what? One array. For example, assume that there is an array. What is the array is? Sales array is there. Now there is a sales array. which contain the sales of some 6 years. It is having a sales of some 6 year sales is there. Now this is some 6 years sales. Okay. Okay, these are 6 year sales. Now what I want to do is I want to I want to retrieve the sales. I want to retrieve the sales whose sales is greater than 50,000. I want to retrieve the sales whose sales is greater than what? 50,000. Then how can I retrieve it? I'm writing here index. Index equal to NP dot. What is that? Where? Where sales is greater than where sales is greater than 50,000. Where sales is greater than 50,000, is it written values or indexes? Indexes. And using that indexes, can I read the values or not? Yes. Sales of what is that? Index. And I'm trying to say print sales 1. Okay, print sales 1 and this contain the sales which are greater than which one? 50,000. So it can be 1D array or it can be what? 2D array. It can be 1D array or it can be what? 2D array. Can I take 2D array here? Yes. For example, assume that, yes, it can be 1D array or it can be what? 2D array. I'm creating another array by saying np dot array. See here, 1, 2, I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is an array, but this is which array? 2D array contain how many rows and how many columns? 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows are there and how many columns are there? 3 columns, right? Now I'm trying to write index. I'm writing index equal to np dot where. np dot where a is greater than or equal to a is greater than or equal to 3. I said a is greater than or equal to 3 and then I'm saying print what? Index. When I say print index, okay, what it is written? It is written a tuple contain a row index and what is that? Column index. Understood? It returns a tuple contain a row index and what is that? Column index. Row index and column index. It is nothing but I said here greater than or equal to 3, right? So what is a row? 0. Okay, 0. 0 is what here? Row. And 2 is what here? Column. 0 is a row and 2 is what here? Column. In the same way, 1 is a row and 0 is what? Column. 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2. So it is written one index or multiple indexes? Multiple indexes. Not one index. It is written what? Multiple indexes. And it is written that indexes as what? Tuple. Now using this index, can I get the values or not? Yes. Using this index, can I get the values or not? Yes, I can get the values. I'm writing here B. So B equal to A of what is that? Index. B equal to A of index. If I print B, it will return one array which contain 3, 4 and 5, 6. But is it two-dimensional array, one dimension? One dimension because you are reading elements by using row index and using what? Column index. It is nothing but 0, 2 and 1, 0 and 1, 1 and 1, 2. Correct or not? So using where you can read the elements based on the condition. But where by default it returns what? Elements are elements indexes, elements indexes. Elements are elements indexes, elements indexes. Right? Yeah, is it this is clear? What do you say, yes or no? Okay, yes. So that is based on the condition. Yes, you understood? Now this is also having two more arguments. It is having two more arguments here. It is having two more arguments here. It is having two more arguments, and one is x and one more is a y. So what is this x and y? So when you see the syntax here, np dot where, so followed by which one? Condition, and then followed by x, and one more is what? Y. So x is nothing but value which has to be written when condition is what? True. And y is nothing but the value which has to be written when condition is what? False. X is nothing but value should be written when condition is what? True. And y is nothing but the value which has to be written when condition is what? False. Getting or not? So when x is written if the condition is true, when y is written if the condition is false. But if you don't give x and y, if the condition is true, what it is returning? Index. If the condition is a true, what it is returning? Index. Yes or no? If the condition is true, what it is returning? Index. If the condition is false, it doesn't return anything. But if the condition is true, I want to return one value. If the condition is false, I want to return another value. If the condition is a true, I want to return one value. If the condition is false, I want to return another value. For example, assume that there is a list of customers. Credit score is there. Okay, assume that there is an array with credit scores of customers. Credit scores of what? Customers. Now I'm saying np.array. So there is a credit score. Now based on this credit score, you'll find out whether a person is eligible for a loan or not. Whether a person is eligible for loan or not, you are finding that based on which one? Credit score. Based on the credit score, right? So there is a array, and what is the name of the array is credit score. Now this is an array which contain credit score, like I'm saying 800, okay, 900, okay, some 400, okay, so it can be point also 500, okay, some 200, and again I said 850, okay, some 750, like this. Now this is what here? Credit score. This is a credit scores of what? Customers. How many customers are there? Some 7 customers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when I read the data from this array, I want to read the data. I want to read the data by replacing what I want. I want to replace index with what? Value. I want to replace index with what? Value. By default, where condition, if I'm giving where condition, if the condition is a true, what it is returning? If the condition is true, what it is returning? Index. If the condition is true, what it is returning? Index. But I don't want to return what? Index. But I want to return value. I don't want to return index, but I want to return value. What is that value I want to return is eligible, not eligible. I want to return eligible, not eligible. If the condition is true, I want to return eligible. If the condition is false, I want to return what? Not eligible. Not eligible. I don't want to return what? Index. I don't want to return index. I want to return value. I don't want to return index. I want to return value. Then I'm saying here some B. So credit score eligible. Or I just write C eligibility or some C equal to np dot where where I'm saying here credit score. Okay, credit score greater than or equal to what? 700. Okay, if it is greater than or equal to 700, is eligible for what? Loan. Otherwise, it's not eligible to loan. Not eligible for loan. I want to know it. How many customers are eligible for loan? How many customers are not eligible for loan? If it is eligible, I want to return eligible. If it is not eligible, I want to return not eligible. But if I write like this, is it written eligible, not eligible, or index? Is it written eligible or not eligible or index? Index. It is written index. Now zero. The customer at zero is eligible. The customer at one is eligible. The customer at five is eligible. The customer at six is also eligible. But remaining people are what? Not eligible. But I want to return. I want to return eligible, not eligible. Then what I'm doing is I'm writing NP dot D equal to NP dot where credit underscore what is that? Score. Where credit underscore score is greater than or equal to 700, comma, what I'm writing? Eligible. And what I'm writing? Not eligible. So when X is written, or when X is, this is X, this is what? Y. So when X is written, if the condition is true. When X is written, if the condition is true. When Y is written, if the condition is false. X is written when the condition is true. Y is written when condition is false. Now I'm trying to say print D. So print D, and when I print D, you can see eligible, eligible, not eligible, not eligible, not eligible, eligible, and one more is what? Eligible. But is it this X and Y is compulsory or optional? Optional. Okay, X and Y is not compulsory. X and Y is what? Optional. But while read by default, if you give the condition, it returns only index. It returns only index, but I don't want to return index. I want to return some value. I don't want to return index. I want to return value. Then you try to define X and Y. Okay, so eligible and not eligible. So X is nothing but X value is written. So here you have two more arguments. One is a X and one more is a Y. For example, assume that there is an array np dot array. So there is np dot array. I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are number of elements here. Some 10 elements are there in array. So b equal to np dot where. Okay, a is greater than or equal to 5, comma, I said here a. Okay, I just written which value? I said greater than or equal to, I just written a. But here you can see either both are neither of x and y. X and y should be given. Means you have to give x and you have to give which one? Y. You have to give x as well as what? Y. If the condition is a true, what you want to return? If the condition is false, what you want to return? If the condition is a true, what you want to return? If the condition is false, what you want to return? You have to define how many values? Two values. You have to return two values. If the condition is a true, I want to return element from A. If the condition is false, I want to return the value none. I want to return what? None. So when it returns none, if the condition is what? False. So what will happen in this case? It will create. Now this is A array and this is what? B array. So if you see A array is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to what? 10. But B array is having what? None and followed by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if the conditions are true, it is returning one value. If the condition is false, it is returning another. If the condition is a true, it is returning one value. If the condition is false, it is returning another value. So this is a value it is written when the condition is what? False. But compulsory, you have to give x and compulsory you have to give x and y. X and y you have to give it. If you want to give multiple conditions, you separate these multiple conditions You separate these multiple conditions by using logical operators. You separate these multiple conditions using logical operators, right? Just to see it. Are you getting or not? What do you say here, yes or no? So this is very much useful, very much useful when you're doing some analysis. So it is very much useful. Now it allows to perform element-wise conditional check on arrays, and what it will retrieve, indexes or elements based on which one condition, and act as a vectorized refiles. Vectorized refiles. Vectorized refiles means, what is the meaning of vectorized refiles is nothing but, for example, you have a comprehension, right? Comprehension is there or not? Yes. Comprehension. In comprehension, what do you do it? You evaluate the expression based on, you evaluate the expression based on what? Condition. If the condition is a true, it returns the element. If the condition is a false, it doesn't return the element. Now this comprehension kind of thing, you call it as which one? Vectorized if else. This is nothing but what? Vectorized if else. Vectorized if else means it will try to apply this condition on each element. If the condition is a true, it returns one element. If the condition is false, it returns another element, which is more faster than using which one here? Looping statements. It is a single line statement or not? It is a single line statement or not? Yes. For example, you learn this in comprehension. Comprehension is elegant and efficient way of creating a list. It is an elegant or efficient way of creating a list based on for loop, based on condition, based on for loop or based on condition. Suppose there is a list, there is a list contain one, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a list. From this list, I want to filter which numbers, even numbers, and I want to create in another list. I want to read which numbers, even numbers, and I want to put in another list. So without comprehension, what do you do it? You create a new list. You create a new list, and every time you read one value from what? A list, and you verify is it this value is even or odd. If the value is even, if the value is even, you are trying to add it to which list? B list. B dot append what? Value. Every time you are reading a value and you are checking, is it that value is even or odd? If it is even, you are adding that value to which list? B list. Getting or not? So instead of doing this, you are writing all this as one line. You are writing all this as one line. Okay, B equal to, now you are using a comprehension. You are adding a value. For value in, what is the name of the list? A. If value mod 2 double equal to what? 0. If the value mod 2 double equal to 0, that value get added in what? List. If the value mod 2 is not equal to 0, is it that value is added or not added? Not added. Getting or not? So this vectorized operation is nothing but you are performing operation on each value. Each value or each element of what? Array. Each value or each element of what? Array. If it is two-dimensional array also, it will try to perform the operation on each element. Each element of which one? Array. That operation you call it as which one? Vectorized operation. That operation is called vectorized operation. So where this is used, I said this is used in what? Data cleaning. It is used in data cleaning. It is for performing which operation? Numerical data operation. It is used in what? Finance. Now all these are use cases. All these are different use cases. It is used in what? Image processing. It is used for risk classification. Okay, in medicine, and it is used in what? Machine learning. All these are use cases. It is also used in what? E-commerce application. I'll explain this. It is also used in what? Transportation to detect what? Speed violation or not. It is also used in what? Weather forecasting. That is nothing but weather analysis. But all this you are doing it by using simple one function. What is the name of the function? Where. What is the name of the function? Where. It is one of the powerful tool. So don't think that where means just where only. Okay, right? So it does lot of things. Okay. So x value is written. Now just take this one. So x value is written. Yes, it is just like a ternary operator. Yes. Okay. Yes, it is just like what we have used in ternary operator, like if, else, if condition is true, it evaluates one. If the condition is false, it do another thing, right? So here in this syntax, x value is written. So this is condition. What is the condition is? The condition is nothing but which expression? Boolean expression. And x value written if condition is what? True. Y value is written if condition is false. That's it. If the condition is true, it returns one value. If the condition is false, it returns another value. Yeah, I'll explain that applications. So those are real-time use cases, and where this where condition is used, I'll explain that. So you can work with number of examples, but what will happen is it will take a lot of time. But no problem. We'll spend more time, but we'll see all the things. Okay. So what will happen when you're working with data analysis? What will happen when you're working with the data science? When you're working with data science or data analysis or data analytics? Now data cleaning, this is data cleaning. Data cleaning is a process of handling which values? Missing values, or handling which values? Invalid values. Handling missing values or handling what? Invalid values. So you want to handle missing values or invalid values because so whenever you are talking about data analysis, there are some basic steps for data analysis. You cannot analyze the data directly. First, what do you do it? Load the data. Where you load the data from secondary to primary. You load the data from secondary to what? Primary. Where is the data in? Database. You cannot do the process or you cannot do the analysis on database. The data which is there in the database, the data which is there in file, either it can be Excel file, it can be CSV file, it can be JSON file, it can be a website. You read the data from website and you put inside one file and you read the data and you load that data in what? Memory. In memory, you represent the data in memory. How you represent data in memory? Using data structures. How you represent data in memory? Using data structure. You may represent data in memory using list, you may represent data and memory. Using set, you may represent data and memory. Dictionary, but is it this support any statistical operations? No. Because of that, you are representing this data and memory using what? Array. Is it array support statistical operations or not? Yes. Now, after loading the data in memory, always you always store the data and memory in the form of one object. You never process the data in hard disk. You never ever process the data in what? Hard disk. It has to be loaded from secondary to what? Primary. It has to be loaded from secondary to what? Primary. So that after loading the data in memory, what do you do it? Data cleaning. Second one is what? Data cleaning is done. Data cleaning is nothing but handling which values? Missing values. Handling missing values or handling which values? Invalid values. For example, in order to do analysis, I want to remove some negative values. I want to remove negative values or I want to replace negative values with what? Positive values or negative values with some other values so that I can perform certain operations. For example, you have some missing values like none. I want to replace that none values because I cannot perform any mathematical operations on what? None. Then I want to replace that none values with some other values. Then how can I do that? How can I find out the missing values? How can I find out the missing values? By using what? Where? How can I find out the missing values? By using what? Where? And I want to replace that missing values with some other values. I want to replace that missing values with what? Some other values. Then how can I replace it? By using what? Where? How can I replace it? By using where? Where I can use what here? Where? Where I can use it? For example, so this is one use case. What is that use case is? Handling. Handling which data? Missing data. So where is used? In application development, where is used for handling what? Missing data or missing what? Values are invalid invalid values. Invalid values. Now this can be done by using where. For example, there is an array. For example, there is an array np.array. There is an array with okay, there is an array with 10, 20, none 30, and again I said none, and there is a 40, and there is a none, and one more is what? None, and there is a value called 50. Now in this case, this array contains so many values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total how many values are there? 9 values. I want to perform some statistical operation. But in this, there is some data is missing or not? Yes. So how this missing data is represented here? None. Then I want to replace this none. I want to replace this none with some other value so that I can perform certain operations. I want to replace this none with what? 0. I want to replace this none with 0. I said, where is used for replacing? But is it replacing is done in the same array or in the new array? New. Is it replacing is done in the same array or in the new array? New array. Because always where is returning what? Another array. It is returning what? Another array. It is not returning same array. It is returning what? Another array. So replacing is not done in the same array. It is returning what? Another array. I want to replace all the none with what? 0. I want to replace none with what? 0. Then tell me. B equal to, tell me here. What should I write? B equal to np dot, tell me. B equal to np dot where? Where A, where what? A double equal to what? None. If the value of A is none, then what do you have to do? What do you have to do? Which value should return? 0. Which value should return? 0. Otherwise you should return same value or not? Yes. Same value means what? A. I want to return same value. Same value is nothing but A. So the value read from what? Array. The value read from array. Now I'm saying print A and print what? B. So print A and print B. So what is A is? A is original array and B is what? The array where you handle which data? Missing data. Now you can see 10, 20, 0, 30, 0, 40, 0, 0 and what is that? 50. Are you getting or not? So this is how, what you're doing, you're handling which data? Missing data. You're handling missing data or missing values by using which condition here? Where. So where returns or replace values, but this replacing is not done in the same array. You have to remember this. Where it doesn't do the changes in the same array, where it is returning what? Where it is returning what? New array. It is returning new array with replace values or not? Yes. It is returning new array with the replace values. Okay, right? So this is one use case where is use. Understood? Right? So there are a lot of applications where is use. Now this is one more. Handling missing data 0. Now this is categorized numerical data. You want to divide. You want to divide into different categories. Now this is belongs to temperature. Okay, now there is a temperature and I want to give labels. I want to give the labels to the temperature, whether it is hot or cold or warm. Okay, now this is a temperature, right? 15, 28, 35, 40 and 22. Now suppose it can be nested also. This where can be what? Nested. Where can be what? Nested. Where? Within where you can write again what? Where? Within where again you can write what? Where? Means how many conditions I can write? Multiple. Within where I can write again what? Where? So how can you write that? Multiple conditions you can define. Now temperature. Now suppose there is a scenario. Scenario is if the temperature is less than 20, it is what? Cold. If the temperature is less than 35, it is what? Warm. Otherwise, which one? Hot. If temperature is less than 20, if temperature is less than 20, now this is labels. This is what here? Labels. This is what? Data. This data you are giving what? To this data you are giving what? Labels. To this data you are giving what? Labels. What is that labels you are giving? Hot, cold and warm. Hot, cold and warm. So when it is cold, if it is less than, if it is less than what? 20. I'm saying np dot where. np dot where. Here I'm writing temperature. Here I'm writing temperature. Temperature less than which one? 20. If it is less than 20, then what it is? Cold. I write here cold. Then otherwise what? Otherwise what? Two more things are there. One is hot and one more is what? Warm. One is hot and one more is a warm. So when it is warm, if it is less than 30. When it is warm, if it is less than 30. Otherwise it is what? Hot. Then I have to check one more condition or not. Yes. Again here I am writing. What I am writing? NP dot. NP dot what is that? Where? NP dot what? Where A is. A is less than which one? 30. A is less than 30. One more condition means if this condition is false. If this condition is what? False. You are checking one more condition. Getting or not? If this condition is false, you are checking what? One more condition. But how can you write one more condition? By using again what? Where? Where A is less than 30, then it is what? Warm. It is warm. Otherwise, what it is? Hot. It is warm. Otherwise, it is a hot. Now just close the where. So this is what happened? Temperature. Sorry. Temperature. Say this is completely depends on retrieving insights, useful information. What is the role of analyst? The role of analyst is Getting useful data. Getting useful data or useful insights and creating dashboards. You create a dashboard where you get, where it is used by end user or it is used by customer or any person to get the information. Getting or not? Okay, it is very easy and very interesting. A little bit coding is required. If you want to become a data analyst or business analyst, you don't require more coding. Okay, you require a little bit coding, but more statistical knowledge. That's it. Now I'm trying to say print. What I print? Temperature. Temperature. Print temperature. And next I'm saying print. What I print here? Labels. Print temperature and what is that? Labels. 15 cold, 28 warm, 35 hot, 40 hot, and 22 is what? Warm. So is it given multiple conditions or not? Yes. And how you write a multiple condition? Writing a where inside a where. You are writing a where inside a where. So that is how you check multiple. That is how you check multiple conditions. Multiple conditions. So where Python developer uses NumPy for business analyst or data analysis. Use for business analysis or data. Variable name can be anything here. Array Anwar. Variable name can be anything. I write X. What is my variable name? X. X is nothing but giving labels to what? Temperature. Variable name can be anything. Don't think that variable name is this only. Variable name can be what? Anything. Okay. Now this is one usage. Now this is, I'll just copy all this. Okay. Now there is finance. Identifying profitable transactions. Identifying profitable transaction. You want to make which transaction resulted to a profit or which transaction is what? Loss. Now this is a buy price and there is a sell price. Now can I use buy price and one more is what? Sell price. This is a buy price and this is what? Sell price. And you have to retrieve the insights like, is it profitable or not profitable? Profitable or non profitable? Tell me. So tell me, I want to know whether it is profit or what? Loss. I'm writing here profit underscore what is that? Loss. Tell me. NP dot. What is this? Where? Tell me what is the condition for profit? A buy price is greater than which one? Sell price. It is a profit. Otherwise it is loss. So buy price. A buy price is greater than or equal to what is that? Sell price. A buy price is greater than or equal to sell price, then I'm saying it is what? Profit. Otherwise, I'm saying it as what? Loss. Profit. Otherwise, I'm saying what here? Loss. So print what I print here? Buy price. Print buy price and print what I print here? Sell price. And then I print profit. Profit underscore what is that? Loss. So I try to print all the things. Now this is a loss because what is the buy price is 100. Oh, correct or wrong? Wrong. I should write less than. Buy price is less than sell price. Correct or not? Yes. This is a profit because what is the buy price is 100. What is the sell price is 110. Is it a profit or loss? Profit. What is the buy price is 120. What is the sell price is 115. Is it a profit or loss? Loss. What is the buy price is 90. What is the sell price is 95. Is it a profit or loss? Profit. What is the buy price is 150. What is the sell price is 140. Is it a profit or loss? Loss. Understood? Yes. Okay, now there are a lot of applications. There are a lot of applications belongs to. There are a lot of applications belongs to this where condition, that is manufacturing quality control alerts. Quality control alerts. Okay, quality control. So there is some product data is there. You have a product data and you are trying to check is it accepted or what rejected. This is quality data. This is product quality data. So when it is accepted, if it is greater than, if the quality is greater than or equal to 10, if it is greater than or equal to 10, then it is accepted. If it is less than 10, it is what? Rejected. If it is greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, then it is accepted. If it is less than, then it is what? Yes. Bolo here. Where takes from 1 to 3 positional arguments, but 5 were given. Where 5 is given? कहाँ पे 5 दिए यार? किधर है 5? Raj. Where 5 is given? Because here you have done mistake. Just to see this mistake. यहाँ पे 2 ही दिए. Where this is a first argument. Say this is first argument, this is second argument, and this is third argument. 3 arguments only. You have to use 3 arguments only. Okay. You should not give like this. अरे you have to close it. किधर किधर की close कर दिए? What here? If you are using only condition, then it returns index. If you are using only condition, it returns what? Index. But if you use x and y, it returns what? Values. Either it returns x value, either it is written what? Y value. It is written x value, either it returns what? Y value. So measurements is there. Now less than 9.7. Now you have here 2 conditions you can write it. But how you are writing between? If the range is there here. So measurement is less than 9.7 or what is this operator is? Or operator. So we can combine 2 conditions, right? It is less than 9.7 and greater than what? 10.3. Then it is what? It is what? Rejected. Otherwise it is what? Accepted. Now in this scenario, if it is 9.7 and 10.3, if it is less than 9.7, it is rejected. If it is greater than 10.3, it is what? Rejected. Otherwise, it is what? Accepted. It is less than 9.7 or greater than 10.3. Greater than 10.3. So print. So what I'm printing here? Measurements. I'm printing measurements and even I'm printing what here? Result. Now when you run this code, you can see it is accepted, it is accepted, it is rejected, it is also rejected, it is what? Accepted because this 9.5 is less than what? 9.7 and 10.5 is greater than what? 10.3. Is it this is clear? Understood? So I'll try to put all these examples. Lot of examples are there. Just practice here, right? So that is over speed or normal speed. Okay, for Chalan, speed limit is it exceeded or not exceeded? If it is exceeded, you'll say exceeded. If it is not exceeded, you'll say not if it is exceeded, you put a Chalan. If it is not exceeded, you don't put a Chalan. So how you measure it? By using which condition? Where condition. Understood? Right? So this is about where. There is one more. There is one more function is there. There is one more function is there. And what is it? Another function? Extract. See here. Almost 1 hour. More than 1 hour we learn only one function. सही है नहीं? More than 1 hour we learn only one function. What is that? where, where. We learn only one function, where. But there are so many things belongs to NumPy, Pandas and Matplotlib. But I'll take time, but we'll learn everything in detail. You want in fast track, huh? जल्दी जल्दी होना बोले जल्दी हो जाता, और बाद में क्या हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ, खत्म हो जाता, खत्म, खत्म जिंदगी. Huh? You don't want that, right? Huh? You want that? Huh? You want loss your jindagi? No, no. Yes. We'll see everything in detail. Okay, but don't think that सर थोड़ा स्लो पढ़ा रहे. हाँ, अब स्टूडेंट्स कैसे रहते हैं यार? ओके, एक एक स्टूडेंट का मेंटालिटी एक एक रहता. स्लो पढ़ा रहे, फास्ट पढ़ाओ, आलू पढ़ाओ, जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ाओ. हाँ, yes or no? But I'll try to follow my own rules. I don't follow anyone. Okay, I don't follow anyone. I'll follow my own style. Okay, na? Right. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you.